answers to. Here are 5 unexplained mysteries of the universe. Does intelligent life, or life at all, exist elsewhere? Even if life were a 1 chance in a trillion occurrence, it would mean that life has existed at least 10 billion other times throughout the universe. This is calculated with the equation astronomer Frank Drake created. The Drake equation. The equation is quite complex. Here are all the parts of the equation broken down. The age of the universe is about 14 billion years at our best estimations. Life like what exists on Earth could have evolved, lived, and gone extinct a few times over before us. Life throughout the universe could be at a much earlier phase than us right now, or at an exceedingly advanced state if they evolved millions or billions of years before us. Life that has existed for much longer than us may intentionally keep distant from civilizations like ours to protect us from what we are not yet capable of understanding. Or they may have advanced to a level at which they are timeless and live outside our standard dimensions and understanding. There are millions of people who keep their eyes and telescopes to the sky, none more so than SETI. The Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, or SETI, with the Allen Telescope Array are based at the University of California in Berkeley. In 1974, SETI beamed their own signal out into space from the Arecibo telescope in Puerto Rico. The signal was a binary message. When displayed, it makes a picture of a human, our position in the solar system, and even the structure of our DNA. You and I certainly won't be alive when they finally do respond, and we may not want to if they aren't nice. But we may also never find anyone or aliens out there. How does gravity work? We know that gravity is what keeps our feet on the ground. We know that gravity is what keeps the planets circling around the sun. Gravity has an immense effect on every single aspect of our existence. However, we have not been able to determine how it works, what causes it, or even why it exists at all. Gravity is said to be the weakest of all the fundamental forces. Gravity has been shown to affect some objects differently at different times. Some spacecraft have had measurable differences in the gravitational force exerted on them during space flight, requiring them to make adjustments in flight to stay on course. One theory supposes that gravity comes from dark matter. Dark matter is, in theory, spread out through the universe non-uniformly, which would account for the anomalies in the forces felt. Only recently have scientists been able to make tiny measurements of gravitational waves. Even though gravity is the weakest of the forces, it can have monstrous power. The more mass you concentrate into an area, the stronger gravity becomes. This is why the gravity on the moon is 16% of Earth's. When supermassive stars that have a mass billions of times that of our sun die, they explode into a supernova, then collapse in onto themselves, giving birth to a black hole. Gravity in and around a black hole is so strong that the closer you get, time slows further and further until it is almost completely stopped. Past the event horizon, gravity is so strong, even light cannot escape. Black holes are a place of no return. So we are left to wonder how this weak force does what it does and where it comes from. How did life originate? Evolution? Gods? We are looking at the evolution aspect today since this is a video about science. Life on Earth began about 3 billion years ago. Some theorize that life started in pools of hot, acidic water. These pools were churned by tectonics, oceanic tides, storms, and lightning. In all this churning and electrical chaos, chemicals began coalescing into simple organic compounds. These same compounds and processes that have been theorized have been replicated in the laboratory. The compounds came together and were encapsulated, creating the first simple cells. Over the course of millions of years, the most complete and toughest cells survived. These cells eventually evolved into multi-celled creatures. Fast forward a few billion years and these simple cells have begun evolving into complex creatures of the sea. Eventually some began to venture onto dry land. Further forward, you have the highly evolved creatures of today watching this video. Another theory exists called panspermia. As it sounds, Earth may have received a seed of life aboard a comet or other space debris. Life could have originated in other more distant galaxies and transported here when those worlds were destroyed. This theory is supported by scientists who have repeatedly found meteors from Mars that were blasted here by impacts that happened millions of years ago. We may be the descendants of ancient alien civilizations destroyed long ago. What is dark matter? Dark matter was theorized as early as 1930. We still have no direct evidence that it exists. We only have strong theoretical math backing the theory and observations made by astronomers. About 80% of all the mass in the universe is made up of dark matter and dark energy. The visible universe, Earth, the sun, you, me, your pets, everything are made of protons, neutrons, and electrons bundled together into atoms. When measuring the mass and speed of galaxies, scientists were confused to find that the math doesn't add up. Galaxies and solar systems are moving so fast that they could have escaped the gravity which bonds them all together. However, they do not escape, but stay together, making the night sky we see possible. Dark matter could explain this because of the amount theorized to exist and the force it would exert on everything. Dense pockets of dark matter could also explain certain optical illusions that astronomers see in the deep universe, such as gravitational lensing when no galaxy is present. Projects such as those at CERN and in the Large Hadron Collider are getting ever closer to discovering the missing pieces and particles that could lead us to the evidence for dark matter and dark energy. Until then, we will have to wait for answers. How many universes are there? What we know as our universe is at the smallest 13.8 billion light years across. This is a massive distance, and at present as far as we can measure and observe. This universe could be infinite. It could also have an edge for which we can never pass. If the universe is indeed infinite and expanding in all directions for billions of years, then there are more than one of you. There are a finite number of elements, and they can only be arranged in a finite number of ways, which means in an unending universe, they are bound to repeat everything eventually. Either way, the likelihood of you existing more than once is quite possible in the vastness. There is also the theory that many versions of our universe may exist at the same place in time, just in different dimensions and energy levels. You will never know if there are universes in the same place we are. The universes are completely non-reactive with each other. If two universes touch, it could cause an instantaneous annihilation, or another Big Bang as some scientists have suggested. We may never be able to discover the edge of our universe, due to the magnitude of which they are measured. So there may be an infinite number of you out there, having made all the decisions you wish you had. There is also the suggestion that we're all living within a simulation. Everything you know, love, and imagine are all taking place inside a computer. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, subscribe for more just like it. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, let me know in the comments below why.